Hello and welcome to Aqua Lifestyle. I'm Glenn, and today we're going to check out SeaVee boats at the Suncoast Boat Show. Going to get a walkthrough and check out one of these amazing center console boats. So stay tuned and enjoy the ride.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the SeaVee boats display here at the Suncoast Boat Show in Sarasota, Florida. We have a couple of models on display here at the show. The one right behind me is the 340Z. It comes in various configurations. This happens to be the triple engine setup. This has three Mercury Verado 300 horsepower motors. It's a V8 power plant, lots of torque, great performance from this particular engine package. As I mentioned, this is the 340Z, meaning it's 34 feet long, happens to be 10 feet wide. Very nice personality on the water, both obviously in calm conditions, but more importantly when things get maybe a little rough. She handles extremely well. So I guess next up, let's come on board and I'll show you some of the features of the boat. So follow me. We'll probably start this tour at the bow of the boat and work our way back and share with you all the details that this boat has. So I guess maybe we should pause for a second before we actually get into the nuts and bolts of this particular boat. Tell you a little bit about SeaVee. Every boat is built to the specifications of the customer. We don't build inventory, so every SeaVee boat is different because every SeaVee boat is a reflection of the personality and lifestyle of the owner. This particular customer is more into fishing, but we certainly have customers that are more into just the lifestyle, cruising, going to the sandbar, and the boat would reflect, obviously, that type of personality. So starting here at the bow, we have, of course, the anchor well, big access, because this is a fairly big boat, big anchor well designed to accommodate a downforth type of anchor. You also have a nice compartment here for your dock lines and other tackle that you may want easy access to. You also have access to the anchor well over here, so everything's easy to get to, everything is easy to maintain. As we go a little further aft, one thing that becomes very obvious is that you see here the coffin box. Coffin box because it kind of sort of looks like a coffin, but it's a very practical option. It's a big cooler, if you will, also operates as a seat. So it's comfortable to sit on, it's comfortable to lean back against, and if you happen to be fishing the bow, it's a nice option to have. You also have unencumbered access all the way around the coffin box, obviously, and you don't lose your space below deck. In this case, it's a big fish box. The way that we kind of handle that is that we split the hatch. Now we have a smaller hatch here, so you have access to the fish box this way. You could toss your fish without having to move this whole system. But in the event you need complete access, it's on an electrical worm gear. You just press a toggle switch and this whole system just opens up, clears the space that gives you access to the fish box, which is, as you can probably see, quite large. When you're not using this as a cooler, customers find that it's a very nice utility space. You could store all sorts of gear, and it's bone dry, so it's never going to get wet. Kind of a nice option to have. Working a little further aft, this is normally a storage compartment. Again, this boat is more set up for fishing, so this happens to be a live well. Port and starboard compartments to stow your gear. You could put your rods and reels down below, lock them if you happen to be in a marina and you want to make sure that your tackle is safe. You could store it below deck and lock it away and know that it'll still be there when you come back. Then we are looking at the integrated console seat here in front of the console. Very comfortable, great place to sit, with the hard top providing adequate protection from the sun, gives you nice shade. And nice, easy access to inside the compartment, inside the console. This particular boat does not have a head inside, but certainly many do. And if you choose to have a head in the console, it could be electric with a holding tank, very much like what you would have at home. Perhaps you could see in the video the rigging door. You could open that rigging door up, and perhaps I'll go down there and actually do it so you could see the access that you have to the electronics on the boat, the electrical systems. Everything is easy to get to. It's very important to have access to all the compartments on the boat for maintenance, for adding. We feature access to the console in the front because that leaves you with the ability to have storage for your rods, port and starboard of the console. You see the array of rod holders here. On the starboard side, you have the same on the port side. And that really is the ideal place to store your tackle. It's out of the way, it's not sitting on the gunnel, yet very easy to get to. So when the bite's on, easy to grab your rod, and you're in play, you're fishing. And now we're, I guess perhaps at the business end of the boat. We're standing, or in this case I'm sitting behind the console. You have nice access to your electronics. It's in a recessed compartment. Prevents glare, easy to get to your gear. We protect the gear with acrylic doors. We have a smaller one on the bottom. And this is here so you could put your phones, your keys, and other items that you might want to have quick access to, but you don't want them in your pocket. They won't fall out yet. When you need to get to your phone, very easy to get to. And at the end of the day, when you need to clean your compartment, this just drops down. It's very easy to get into the little corners and keep the compartment clean. Again, when you tie up your boat at a marina, you're in the islands, you could always drop down your acrylic panel, lock it, and your compartment is nice and safe. All the rest of the instrumentation, very easy to get to. It's all laid out properly. And as I had mentioned before in this video, is that every layout tends to be a little different. It's a reflection of what the customer wants, how he uses his gear, his favorite manufacturer for electronics, and these type of things. This boat is actually equipped with a joystick control, so that's right next to the wheel, right between the throttles and the steering wheel, right where it should be. You have an array of switches here to turn on everything from your spreader lights to your navigation lights to your bait wells to freshwater, saltwater washdown. Again, very easy to activate, very easy to turn off, very easy to see. Behind me we have the Captain's Edition leaning post. This is probably the most popular system that we install on our boats. We could put in individual seating, chairs, captain's chairs. There's all sorts of different options, but this is probably the most popular one. Storage under the seat. And if you come around, you can see that there are cup holders on the top, also rod holders. You have a very handy rigging table. And it also functions very nicely as a utility table that you could use for all sorts of different reasons. Below, you have your setup here for plano boxes, your tackle. Very easy to get to. One of the important things when you're fishing on a boat is to stay organized, and tools like this help you to do just that. So if you're rigging, you take out your plano box, you drop your rigging table, you're rigging, you're in business, you're finished, you got your leader done or whatever you happen to be doing, you reverse the process, close the rigging table, put your plano box away, and the boat is back to where it was. Organized, you don't have any hooks or lines or anything laying around. that could injure someone. Below that, we have a cooler. It's a very, very nice cooler. Holds ice for an incredibly long period of time. It's made by Frigid Rigid. It's retractable, and whenever you need to access the cooler, you just simply pull it out. It acts also as a seat when you have it in the deployed position. When it's retracted, it's nice because you recover all your deck space here in the aft cockpit, which is handy. I'm standing on the aft storage compartment, and it has lots of room because it goes actually under the deck. It could also function as your aft fish box, so if you're yellowtailing smaller species, if you will, you got a place to keep your catch here in the aft storage compartment, which is insulated. Some people actually upgrade this to a aft bait well. With a sea chest for making sure that it stays healthy. A lot of water flow and no aeration of the bait, so they hold up quite well. This is probably the most effective bait well for when you're cast netting, and it's just a matter of bringing the net into the boat, and you're dropping your bait very easily into this compartment. Port and starboard of that utility space is additional utility space. So the nice aspect of all this is that you could store all sorts of material in this space and be able to take it out with you and put it on the dock because they're removable buckets. Same space on the starboard side, and the space in between, well, this happens to be the bilge. Now I'll kind of step out of the way and see if you get a little more light in there. You can see the sea chest, and that sea chest feeds all the live well, bait well systems on the boat. It's a space that if one's not careful how it's rigged, could easily get very cluttered. You could see how, on this boat, how uncluttered that space is.
Yeah, the rigging is impressive, it really is.
Other items that are in here is that you could direct the fuel flow from the two tanks and determine what tank each of the motors is going to draw from. So you have complete control of the fuel system on board the boat. I don't know if it's apparent in the video, all the hatches on a SeaVee boat are finished gel coat on the inside. So not only is that, I think, a hallmark of quality, it's also practical from the standpoint that as opposed to being painted, it's very easy to maintain. They clean up very nicely, very quickly, and just another feature that helps keep the boat looking its best. Well, right behind the bilge is the aquarium window to the standard live well, bait well of the boat on the transom. And not only does the aquarium window look nice, it's very practical because if you happen to be standing behind the console, which most people spend a lot of time at, you can just look over your shoulder and glance and know firsthand the situation with your bait. Next to the live well and transom, little bottle of palm olive, is the standard storage space. This is often used to maybe hold a box of chum, a couple boxes of chum. Anything that melts drains overboard, as you can see. This could be upgraded, by the way, to yet another live well, smaller than the main one, but practical in some cases depending how you fish. So this boat features the standard transom door that you can see right here. In some cases, the customer may opt to prefer a side door, which is available. And even in some cases, the boat will have both. We'll have the transom door and a side door. And so this brings us to the very end of the boat, the transom. You can see it's an integrated bracket. We have a couple of rod holders in the back that gives us all sorts of options on how to use them. I frequently have a cutting table back here that I could just drop into the rod holder. And sometimes when I'm out with my family, I might even put a barbecue back here and do a little afternoon cooking at a sandbar. And that pretty much takes us through the boat. I hope everybody enjoyed the tour and got a little glimpse of what makes a SeaVee a SeaVee. And if there's, of course, any more information people require, they could go to SeaVeeBoats.com. I'm John Caballero. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director for the company, and thank you very much for watching.